Hi, welcome to class. We're the only two right now, but the other ones will show up eventually, right? I hate my life. I hate my life.
A Professor Sunreis Productions!
Hello class, Professor Sunreis here. In today's episode of Free Play Analysis, we're taking a look at me playing Dragon Link. I have to admit it, I was hating the deck a little bit because of the amount of bricks. I'm kind of falling in love with the deck. Borderland is one hell of a card, and most importantly, we have a necessary evil of switching up the strategy of the Bystials just because Kashtira is right around the corner, like basically exactly 1 month, 1 day off maybe. And the deck just completely hard storms all of the strategies that the current Bystial control deck is trying to accomplish, so we do have to do something differently. And Dragon Link Endboard / Borderland Turbo going to Savage, going to Synchro Monsters is the best thing the deck can do. With the deck I mean dragons. Everything else is kind of like last what Dragons is trying to accomplish. So we are testing Dragon Link, and actually it's performing pretty good against Tearlaments already. So this is also what this replay is going to be. So it's going to be my Dragon Link versus a Tearlaments player. I hope you guys will enjoy this video, will enjoy more Dragon Link content in the future, because I'm pretty sure if I want to play Dragon's next format, it's going to be a Dragon Link version, just because, like I said, Seal Control just doesn't cut it anymore. So without further ado, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave some feedback down below in the comment section, and let's get right into the replay. So we are in the replay. Let's pause here real quick. We are up against Fyra with 1,251 rating. And I am currently at 932 at the time of this game. Let the face cam come back. Okay, let's take a look. We lose the rock, paper, scissors. Fyra are going to start. They have, by the way, a very cute picture of their furry icon. I'm not too sure about the furry community, but I think that's like their persona. I think they call it Fursona. I think this looks very cool. This looks a little too sexual, but yeah. Anyways, this is a cute doggo. So, opening hand, we have Tracer, Lubellion, Veiler, Quick Launch, Drewsworm, insane hand. You cannot complain about that. 2 hand traps, like a shit ton of extenders. No real starter apart from the Lubellion. You could count that as the starter, but the opponent is on Hafnis, Keldo, Hafnis, Magnamut, and Cyberstein. So here they are going to activate Cyberstein. At this point, there are 2 rules of thought. You could just Veiler the Cyberstein because they will go for Kid Carlos and you will Veiler that. But then you open them up into a sprint line. My theory was that because I'm scared that they will just bait me with this Cyberstein normal summon, they have a shit ton of the other stuff in their hand. I just wanted to hit the Kid Carlos because I know I can still deal with the sprint line. So they will activate the Cyberstein and I will just Veiler it. Also, one aspect I think is very important to keep in mind with that they are 3.3k life points. Holy shit! So that cheesing a win by just going with a big beat stick over his mediocre board is definitely doable. And then having a sprint on the board gives me a very easy target to run into to deal an insane amount of damage. So I think that's actually pretty okay to do it like this, just because we have the additional disruption. If you only have a Veiler or 1 Imperm, you have to hit the Cyberstein at this point, just because this is a guaranteed sprint follow-up. So this plays Cyberstein alone plays through 2 hand traps if you think about that. So that's pretty insane. So they go for the sprint. Sprint sent Merly. Here we sent the Drewsworm, and they cannot play anymore. Yeah, they have normal. They cannot use the Keldo. They can use Magnamut, and they will do that. We could have also hit banished the Kid Carlos. I thought about that, but because I kind of wanted them to minus off the stuff in hand, but that's just way too risky. Because if I banish the Kid Carlos here, they have to fuse from hand, and like 99% of the Tearlaments lists currently run 1 Kid Carlos, so they would have to go into I don't even know if they would go into what's it called, the level 6 guy. I forgot, Garura. So we'll have to go into Garura, but at this point they could have actually extended because they had a Magnamut. So that would have just been very bad. And because we don't have to go for the long route because they're only at 3k life points, it is very risky. So I would not advise you to do this. Would have heavily backfired. So here we draw a Saronir. Insane card, you cannot complain about that. We go for a quick launch, go for the trace, and this is so important. This is why I really want to play the Baron. Because a lot of times you will have a random Bystial on the board, and we just use a quick launch to go into quick Baron and force out so much stuff already. We already have game here on board. We just need to play around the Hafnis. We go for the Rebellion. They chain Druid Swarm on the Rebellion. We let this resolve. At the Magnemite. And then we go for a Magnemite, target that. And we already have game on... No, we don't have game on board. We banish the Kid Carlos, we activate Magnemite. They don't chain a Halfness, making me think that they didn't have a Halfness, which will come up later, I think. I think it was in this game. Go for Saronia on that. And at this point, we just have game, but we just fumbled the bag. We tried to pop the that thing. They didn't still chain Halfness, so I thought this was just a safe Halfness. Now they chain... Okay, now they chain the Halfness on Barrow Negate, but not even on that. I could have just won. I don't know why they did this so late, but I guess it just works out for them. But it's just... It doesn't seem like the right way to use your Halfness. They do hit a lot, hitting a Sharon and a Rhinoheart. We have no Bystials anymore. We could have done the Ceremony. We should have done... If we played like this, we should have kept the Ceremony in the hand. But I was for sure thinking that it didn't have a Halfness, so I just wanted to go for game. But even in hindsight, because I have no downside of using the Barone earlier, I should have just done it like that. So now they go for a Mud Dragon. Good thing they don't have the Kid Carlos. But now they go for a Halfness effect, which they send off a Rhinoheart. And they go for the Kaleidoheart, and Kaleidoheart effect sent this one, but this is still super fine. We know they have no disruption, we know Summon Tracer, and all we need for the main combo is to get into 3 bodies. So this is exactly what we're doing here. We go for Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon effect that has to target Barone here actually, because of the Mud Dragon. I forgot about that. Can target Striker, I can also target that. First time this interaction happened. By the way, this is like the 7th game or so I did with the deck. I still have a lot to do with it, along with it. So there will be some misplays, but this is, I think, the most interesting aspect of learning a deck. Like the beginning phase is where most of the stuff happens. So I think getting you guys all of these replays where I even do some major misplays like I did here with the Ceremony, or just some small interactions which I do wrong because I'm so hyper focused on doing the combo right. I cannot really put all of my focus into thinking, okay, what my opponent does have, even though I think they did the Halfness wrong there. But anyways, we go into dark, getting a Magnemite, so we can turn 2 body into 3, which is all we need. So now we just need a level 4 what's it called, a level 4 dragon, which with the Tracer we got that. We pop the Boot Sector launch, we summon out the graveyard, so we have 1 in hand again. Just getting some nice pluses in the meantime. So we go into Pisty, we have the Recharger on the board, Magnemite, and that go into Triple Burst, Pisty, Revive. You probably want to, it doesn't really matter, we don't have anything to revive here. Pisty, but this interaction is so strong. A lot of times you can revive your normal Summon Tracer here, so even if this is where you can get your Rocket Engine going again, so you don't even need to search it. This is like a crucial part of the combo. Pisty getting stuff out of the graveyard, off the banish pile, like a Safer, a Magnemite, stuff like that. So this is really good. And then go for Borderland. Borderland effect, target the Sprint, because it's the only thing we can target, to get the Tracer out of the graveyard. And then we go for a Savage Dragon, and we have game on board. Savage target Triple Burst, gets a huge amount of attack points. This is the end board of the deck, by the way. Just from the Rocket Engine, really enjoy the gameplay, and we just win. Borderland is one hell of a card. It can attack over all of the opponent's monsters if you didn't know, so I would have just run over anything, and Savage then go attack direct. Pretty fucking strong. Opponent is on Sharon, Halfness, they decide to go first, of course. Sharon, Halfness, Merly, Paralino, and Merly. Pretty insane hand. Going first, having all of these Tearlament names is insane. We are on Tracer, Chaos Space, Collab, Serpent, Impermanence, Chaos Space. Not the cleanest hand. Probably not a lot we can do here. So they search a Rhinoheart, of course, so now they have all of the Tearlament names. I don't like how this is going. They use Sharon, pitch the Rhino, mill Cyberstein and Keldos, so that's pretty awful for us. Because they can get the Cyberstein with an elf, so we really don't want them to have that. So Merly 1, Rhino 2, the Rhino 1, Merly 1, Rhino 2. So now they resolve that. They sent the Halfness, but they didn't trigger. They just wanted the additional name. Now Kid Carlos will try to resolve, but we will probably imperm this, yeah. 99% of the time you imperm. If you only have one card, you imperm the Kid Carlos just because denying them their guaranteed Saliek is very important. But those are pretty standard. Merely kind of whiffs here because they already have a Keldo. But our hand is so bad, even an insane hand like this, whiffing kind of hard, still just is very bad for us. So now they go for a Redoer, triggering the Sharon. From here on out, they can... they make a Garura, and because they shuffle back, they can use Perliner to pop the Kid Carlos. Kid Carlos gets popped, and they mill 5, they hit a Mudora, they hit a Crime, but they cannot use that. So the hand is actually pretty awful, because they whiffed so hard, but our hand is just not even looking remotely playable, because we have just no Bystials, 2 Chaos Space, it's very bad. They even whiff on that. On the Redoer, they have no guaranteed way of playing next turn. They only have the Halfness in hand. It's kind of crazy how bad this hand paid out for them. We pitched the Chaos Base. We used Chaos Base pitched for Collapse Serpent because we need a Bystial, basically. Now we use the Lubellion to get into... They use Chain Keldo. We will get a Magnamut, but they will get rid of our Chaos Base and our Lubellion and the Collapse Serpent, which is... I'm not too sure if that's a misplay. Of course, you want to take away the Lights and Darks, but shuffling back the Collapse Serpent into the deck can be very beneficial for me in the later round, because this is not over very soon at this point. But yeah, we activate the Regained, we use Magnamut on the Kid Carlos, they chain the Mudora to make it so that our Magnamut cannot be summoned. By the way, going second, I do side out most of the Rocket Engine. I only leave in 3 Quick Launch and 1 Tracer because I just want the space for defensive cards. I'm not too sure if this is really the way you want to do it, because all of these one-offs can just brick so hard going second, especially against the elements. The Bystial control should still be enough. And then you have 3 Quick Launch plus 1, what's it called? Plus 1 Tracer to just go into Barone and force stuff out that way. At this point, we are basically dead because they have lethal on board, and we cannot resolve our Magnamut because they still have another Keldo. So they even get to normal summon Halfness here and just win, which is very sad. If you think about that, I could have set Tracer. I guess, but my Magnamut wouldn't have resolved. I mean, I could have set. If I would have set Tracer, I would have still died because Halfness would have run over that. Yeah, I would have still died. Keldon also, they couldn't have shuffled back a virtual, not a virtual world, Tearlaments. So yeah, they just win here. Hand was very bad. I mean, you can be too mad because the opponent's hand was also kind of bad. Well, the hand was not bad, but the mills were kind of awful. So, like last game, we go first. Opening hand is Talents, Drew's Worm, Collapse Serpent, Veiler, Magnamut. That's a brick, but we have 3 hand traps, so that's fine. They have Dark Ruler, Keldo, Talents, Kelbeck, and Twin Twisters, so they also kind of brick. They only have 1 line of play for now, so that's pretty good for us. They draw Keldo, which is also not what you really want to see here. So Keldo, pitch the Kelbeck, Search Mudora, Agido. Okay, so they do play the 1 of Agido, I assume. So now they trigger Kelbeck. They hit a Halfness, they hit a Merly. We hit Seyfert, and nothing really else. I mean, the Magnamut is really good for them. So they only use Halfness. Here we chain the Magnamut. We chain the Magnamut on the Halfness. Again, you could have argued to go for the Merly so that they have to fuse from hand, but this just seems so risky. Making them minus in the long run just doesn't seem good. Even though we have a Veiler for Kid Carlos, they just don't want to do this. So they go for the Talents. They get rid of our Drew's Worm. By the way, this is the second time I drew Collapse Serpent. I feel like on Dueling Book you draw Collapse Serpent so often, it is insane. So now they go for Mudora, pitch the Agido, effect Agido. They mill 5. They hit a Halfness and a Sharon, so they can still play. Yeah. And we mill both of our Tracers. We hit the Wyver Burster. We hit a Chaos Space, which is pretty good, and a Regained is not bad either. So they hit the Sharon. We cannot Drew's Worm because we don't have it anymore. We still have a Veiler, so we are not at the end of our plays. Kid Carlos, we have to think here. This is a time where you maybe don't want to Veiler it, but it's just too much value if you don't Veiler it. So we decide to Veiler it. So then they go for dark. We have no way to disrupt the dark, sadly. So dark on Magnum will just come out. And now they go for a sprint, I assume. Yeah, sprint plus 2 shufflers in our turn. So this is gonna be a Rukalos, Shuffler, Bystial. 2 shufflers, Rukalos, Bystial. We have to out with 4 cards in hand, basically, and 1 Magnum on board, because I don't think they will be able to out our Magnum. I mean, they could crush. Oh, they go for Garura. Okay. So no Rukalos, they go for Beatrice, send Garura, pitch Garura, send. They still have 1 fusion, right? They still have a Merly. But they don't have a Kid. Where's the Kid Carlos? They've used that, okay. Interesting. I'm not too sure about that. So that's such a Hafner, so we have to play around that. Set 1. Magnemite in the end phase basically has to search a Bystial because the opponent could in standby phase or draw phase just use the Beatrice. So we have to use the Serenity here to hopefully get into the Rebellion. So yeah, they used the Mudora because they have 2, I think. No, they don't have 2 Mudoras. They used the Mudora to hit our Veiler, our Saferd, and our Viper Burst because we know that we have a Cool Serpent, so they want to get rid of all of our lights. But this seems so dumb because they plan on using Beatrice. You always basically go for a Kelbeck to mill 5 so that you can have the option to play around 1 Bystial, giving us all of the lights back. So this seemed kind of unnecessary on their part. We draw Chaos Space, which is insane, especially the way Bystials usually trade. If we start out with 1 Bystial to play with it, the opponent counters it with their Bystial, then we can just Chaos Space pitch Seronia, and we just are straight up vibing. So they use Beatrice in draw phase. Like I said, send a Kelbeck, which is pretty standard. They hit 2, Merly and Rhinoheart. We hit a Veiler, a Light again. We hit a Serenity. Both our regains are gone, which is kind of iffy, but we still have the Branded Beast, so we can still get them out of the graveyard. Let's see. They go for Rhinoheart. Doing so in the draw phase, of course, makes so that they play around the talents, but this is also just correct to do in the draw phase no matter what. But they know we have a talent, so they try to play around that accordingly. Kit, Sharon, Rhino. Lots of pluses on the opponent's side here. No real use to use the Serenity there because they used Merly 1, Rhino 2. You really want to hit the one which goes for Rukalos at maximum. They go for the Kaleidoheart, send the Hafness, and then next turn Hafness, we chain the Serenity. They chain the Drewsworm so that our Serenity stays in hand. Like I said, this is perfect. If we didn't draw the Chaos Space, this could have been game deciding. Not being able to use this card and then having an insane card like Chaos Space could be crucial, but now we are just okay. Oh wait, they didn't. They chained Drewsworm on our Veiler to get rid of our 1 light. Jokes on them. We don't even need that. So we have 2 level 6s on board. This is perfect timing to go for it in a 2. The only rank 6 I still play, but this is just insane. So we pitch Serenia, giving us another way to get a light into the graveyard with the Lubellion. We go for Saferd, effect Serenia. Send the Lubellion, of course, so we have a guaranteed light in graveyard now, so we go Saferd into Striker Dragon at the field spell, which is insane because we have 2 Tracers in the graveyard, so we can get those out of with the Boot Sector launch. They chain the Hafness on the Striker Dragon, mill 3. Now they've played into the talents, and they didn't really accomplish anything. They can use the Kaleidoheart, but they opt not to, which was very confusing for me. They still have a Shuffler, which I thought I would bait out with the Boot Sector launch here. They chain a Twin Twister on that, so we cannot get that. Now they go for the Shuffler, hitting the my lights and the planet, but this does nothing because we have the Tomb on the field and we have a Striker Dragon. So if you've remembered last game, we only really need 2 bodies and a Collapser and a low-level Dragon, which we will definitely get here. We will just go for the Romulus, get the Ravine, use the Ravine. At this point, we know they have no disruption, so we just win again. Go for Chaos Space, send the Chaos Space with the Ravine, send the Lubellion. Now we can use the Saferd. We don't have a Saferd engrave. Theoretically, we could use the Saferd engrave, but we just wanted to get the Chaos Space into the graveyard. That's why we went for the Ravine. Collapse Certain. And also we wanted to target for Tracer. Go into Pisty, effect Collapse Certain. We do still have a Wyver Burster, luckily not milled. Go for Wyver Burster. Banish the Cool Up Serpent, Chaos Space on the Cool Up Serpent. Draw one, and even if we had the Wyver Burst ability, we could have used triple Tactic Talents to steal something from the opponent's side. We draw Recharger, which is kind of annoying, but we haven't normal summoned yet, so that is, it sucks a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. We go for Magnum here because we already have the Recharger in hand, so we can trigger the Magnum. If for some reason something would happen, we have a Magnum for next turn. But at this point, it is pretty easy to clean up duty. We go for Borrowland, effect Borrowland, target the Sprint, revive the Tracer out of the graveyard, go for Rocket Recharger, go for Savage, and even without the talents, this is game because we can just negate the Jerusalem and this attacks over everything. It should be game, I assume. That's 2.1, 2, 3, 4, 5k, and then this attacks directly. Yeah, that's even game, even if we didn't have the talents. We get the triple burst, we talents, take Drewsworm, and we call the GG's. Insane game, I think. Really showcased the strength and a little bit of the weakness of the deck. It can still be bricky if you don't draw a single card to get a dragon on the field. So no Safer, no Chaos Space, no Quick Launch, no Tracer. Safer, Chaos Space, Tracer, Quick Launch, yeah. If you don't draw any of these, your Bystials can really break. But then again, the Bystials against Tearlaments at least are just so good at putting on pressure and giving your own resources in the form of Tomb Lines, in the form of Magnum at back. It just plays really well into the current Tearlaments deck. So even I thought this less optimal Dragon version is still very good against Tearlaments, which gives me very high hope that next format the deck is still very playable, because against Tearlaments we will still be fine. Of course, Tearlaments will get some nice new toys, but I think we should be able to handle them because on a fundamental level the Bystial just hard counter them, and we also get a new Bystial. But most importantly, the deck is capable on its own, and Borrowland is very strong against Kashtira, exactly because the deck just struggles to out this card, like so many decks do right now. So I'm feeling very confident with this version of the deck into the future. I still have to do some testing to get the fine-tunes going. Will this deck be as good as Dragon Control currently? I'm not too sure. I'm a really huge fan of the Dragon Control at the moment. I think it will be from a power-wise, it will not be too different. Just the amount of good matchups you have in the new format will probably be lower, so it's less optimal of a pick, but still should be very strong. If you want to play Dragon's next format, I think you are good to go to do so. Hope you guys enjoyed this replay analysis. You guys are free to leave. You always know that. Professor Sunreis out. Peace.